So we've talked about how crazy the Dodgers have gotten, how broken this MLB system is right now. And all of this is inevitably going to lead to a lockout. The CBA expires at the end of the year. There's been lots of speculation that we will get a lockout with things like this Cal Tucker signing, even Bo Bichette signing with the Mets. We are probably going to get at least some version of a lockout. We'll see how long it lasts. So the question is, how can we fix baseball? And I'm not going to pretend to have all the answers in just a couple-minute video, but I do want to just talk about my initial thoughts and my initial reactions to all this crazy spending, to all this inequality that's happening in baseball. The easy answer, and the answer that everybody first comes to, is the MLB needs a salary cap. But I don't know if that's just an easy solution. I don't think that's going to just magically solve all the problems. And even if it did, you're going to have a really hard time convincing the players to agree to it. Now, there would be a lot of owners, and especially owners of the smaller market teams, they certainly would be in favor of a salary cap. But all these players that have just seen their salaries dramatically increase the last 10 years, they're not going to just easily go for a salary cap. The other case is to not only have a salary cap, but also have a salary floor. And you can make the argument that the Dodgers aren't necessarily the problem. It's all the teams like the Athletics, like the Pirates, like the Marlins, who just aren't spending really at all, and force those teams to at least spend a minimum amount. They can't just save money that way. I don't think that putting in a cap and a floor is just going to magically solve all the problems. And that's if you could even get both sides to agree to both of those things, which I've said would probably be difficult. But putting more restrictions on what these contracts are to at least make it a little bit equitable in terms of what the Dodgers can spend right now versus push off versus smaller market teams that can't take the risk of pushing off some of these contracts for more money now. It's going to be tough to get something that both sides can agree on. And it's going to be tough to find a solution that's just going to magically fix this problem. And I think MLB is going to argue, besides the Dodgers winning the last two World Series, there's been a good amount of parity. And you could argue that there's nothing to really fix. There are going to be teams that spend a lot. It's always been the case. But there's teams that won't spend a lot and still have success. So there's the case that way. I don't necessarily agree because all the teams spending a lot typically do well. But it's going to be a conversation that we have all year round and will inevitably lead to a very contentious lockout at the end.